Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jay and it's the end of the month and that can mean only one thing. It's pickup video time and I've got an absolute pile to get through. So let's spin the logo and jump into some of these pickups. Now, as I said in the intro there, I've got a lot to get through in this video and I've got a whole selection of games here that have come from different sources and I'll kind of tell you about them along the way. I haven't documented everything I've paid for these. I'll give you the estimates from based on what I can remember, but I thought I'll share them with you. I've got a mixture of old and new. Some of this stuff has come from Amazon. Some of this stuff has been amassing now for quite a few weeks. It will probably mean that pickup videos in the next couple of months are going to be a little bit lighter, just because a lot of my money, as you'll know from my previous video, is being funneled into my workshop at the moment. In fact, just today I've ordered the insulation boarding and expanding foam. It's exciting stuff. But anyway, let's get into the pickups and let me share a whole heap of games that we're adding to the collection this month. And I think genuinely some big titles in here, some interesting pieces, and probably a little bit of filler as well. But we'll get stuck in. So the first pile I want to take you through are my friend Mary, the car boot enthusiast, and some of the games she picked up for me a little while ago, which have finally made their way to me. And I'll run you through these. So first of all, a stack of Xbox One games. And we've got, first of all, Far Cry 4. I'm just going to remove the little stickies as we go. So this was listed at £2 at the car boot. She didn't pay that. She always haggles. So Far Cry 4 limited edition. I don't know that there'll be any kind of limited content in there. I imagine DLC's been used by now. But still, I've never played the Far Cry games. Not really got into them. And I've added a few in this spell. So you'll see as we go. So Far Cry 4 quickly followed, probably sensibly, by Far Cry 5. Again, not a series I've played, so keen to get into them. I know generally the Far Cry series are well received. I think the next one perhaps was the least well received in recent times. Maybe that's just due to repetition. I don't know, you tell me. Far Cry 5 though, going straight into the collection. And as would make sense at this point, the next in the sequence is Far Cry 6. Now this is the one I think was less well received. But still, as far as I'm aware, a good game. I think the problem we've got now is that people are getting a little bit fed up with Ubisoft and the Ubisoft formula. I'm hearing good things about Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is really positive news because I really fancied that one. I'm not going to pick it up brand new. I've got a whole backlog to play, but I will get it at some point if it's any good. I do have most of the other Assassin's Creed titles in the collection. But anyway, Far Cry 6 added with Far Cry 5 and Far Cry 4. Sticking with Xbox One and another series that I have played in the past actually this time, but not these particular titles. So we first of all got the Borderlands The Handsome Collection. Now I've got to be honest, I didn't realise when I saw this. Again, this was a couple of pounds. All of these were less than £3 or £4. Apparently this includes Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel, which is the Handsome Jack story arc. I don't think I ever played either of those or through to completion. My only real experience of Borderlands is Borderlands 1, which I played cover to cover with some friends in co-op, had a great time, but I think by the time we bounced onto Borderlands 2, it was feeling a bit samey for me. So I'm pretty confident I started Borderlands 2, don't think I ever finished it. But I love these games and I'll be interested to see where they go with the fourth one that's due out soon. So Borderlands The Handsome Collection swiftly followed again, sticking with sequence here, the deluxe edition of Borderlands 3. Again, this was just, I think, stick it at £6 or £7. Mary paid less because she's very good. And it's got a really nice kind of hollow foil. I don't know if that comes across. Oh, it does. It catches nicely on the camera. I've got a friend actually now who would like to play through this ahead of Borderlands 4 coming out. So good timing for me to pick it up. I am contemplating giving this one a go. If you're interested in seeing some of that on stream, let me know and maybe I will do that. Then we move to the Xbox 360 to round out the remainder of the games that Mary picked up, and they're all WWE games, so we'll flash through these quite quickly. The first one is SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Normally I'm not bothered about picking up old wrestling games, or at least I wouldn't have been in years gone by, but there's just, now I'm back into WWE in quite a big way. There's something fun for me about going back over these and seeing the evolution of these games, because I remember at the time every one of these just looked like it was as good as graphics were ever going to get, and then of course they just keep getting better. But yeah, so SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. We also have the following year's 2008, this one featuring ECW. So again, just adding this to the collection. I've got a few of the SmackDown versus Raw series on the Xbox 360 now. I think 2011 was the one I bought recently. Don't check on that. And then the last one from the 360 collection and from Mary's car boot pickup was SmackDown vs Raw 2010. Like I said, I think I've got 2011, so I've now got this awkward 2009 gap, which I'm going to have to fill. But yes, so another SmackDown vs Raw title. Again, none of this cost a lot of money, and she was incredibly kind to actually gift me all of those games for my birthday. So thank you, Mary, if you're watching this by any chance. So those are the car boot pickups. Now we've got a choice. I think we're going to go eBay. Just one from eBay, and this was a suggestion from a viewer of the channel, Keith, the Love of Guitars, and it will feature in a future Retro Quest when I find time to get back round to making those, and that is the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. Now he recommended this one. I'll just hold that up because it's quite a bit smaller than the other games. He recommended this one for a future Retro Quest, and said it's a very good game. I don't think I ever played this back in the day, so I'm really chuffed to add this to my SNES collection. It's the only one from eBay this month, but a great game, I'm sure, and the most retro of everything we're adding today. Let's keep it retro. Let's go to Vinted, where I dipped my toe back in, having not bought from Vinted for quite a while, and I reminded myself why with these pickups. So first of all, and I do think this is quite cool, I picked up the collector's edition of Tekken 3. Now, it's not the game, it's not the full game before anyone goes, I've never seen this. It is in fact a demo. It would have come off the front of PlayStation Magazine, as you can kind of see from in here. Now, the only reason I picked this up, to be honest, was I have fond memories of Tekken 3. It's probably up there with Tekken Tag on the PS2 as my favourite Tekken games, purely based on nostalgia, not necessarily quality. But I also think that the idea of a collector's edition demo just kind of seems a bit mad. The black case is really slick. It did unfortunately come slightly damaged in transit, I assume. The bits were in there. I have super glued it back together, and it's gone together very, very well. I don't think you can even tell. I'm sure it won't even pick up on camera, trying to get the angle right there. So just two small pieces I had to put back in to get the hinge working again. But yeah, a nice little addition to the more random side of my collection. And then I bought from one seller 2 PS2 games. Now, I'll save the reason I dipped into this person's feed in the first place for the second game. But the first game I picked up, which I just added to make a bundle, it had it for sale. I thought it was a couple of pounds, and I thought, I've never heard of this, I'll give it a go. And that is, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Syvaria, the definitive or complete edition, sorry. Now, from what I can tell from the screenshots, and I haven't looked up any game footage, I will by the time I've edited this in order to insert it. But it looks like a shmup, and I don't have many of these, and I've taken a lead here from the Retro Ghetto, who's a YouTuber that you should absolutely watch if you're into retro games. I'm sure you already are. If you've found your way here, you've more than likely found him. But he really loves a shmup, and I was just inspired to pick it up. I thought I'll give it a go. Could be absolutely rubbish. Apparently it's an arcade classic. It's 2 games in one, actually, according to this. You can tell I haven't even looked. There's Syvaria Medium Unit, the original arcade classic, and then the remake of the original with upgraded buzz system, all new short bombs and replay mode. So, don't know, it was a couple of pounds. I like obscure PS2 games. PS2 is a favourite console of mine, so I thought that was a no-brainer to add. And then the reason that I went into this seller's content in the first place, and I will say I'm a little disappointed with this, on reflection, is this, what would have been or could have been a really nice bit of cardboard. It's the Tomb Raider Anniversary Collector's Edition. Now, on the pictures I could see that there was, some remnants of stickers. I don't know how that's coming across, and I thought, that's okay. I didn't tidy those up, we get those off, and we can make this look really smart. Unfortunately, and I won't make it any worse, you can see, I'll just give that a gentle peel, it's pulling at the imagery on the box. Really stupid idea, whoever put that sticker on in the first place. It won't have been the buyer. It looks like it might well have been a CEX or a game, judging by the way that this label is supposed to break up, but it simply won't come off. So it's ruined this collector's edition to some degree, which is a real shame, because inside, I'll just show you, it's in excellent condition. So it's just the outer sleeve that's really damaged. And as it folds out, can't quite show that, you can see you've got all these discs. I think one of them's a music, soundtrack, there's a DVD, and then there's of course the game and the booklet. So it's a really nice little addition, just let down by the fact that some numpty video game store decided to put that massive sticker on. If that came like that from new, I'll be blown away. But yeah, so real disappointing. But overall, the rest of the quality of the box is pretty good. A couple of small dinks and stuff, but it's those stickers that really let it down. I didn't pay a lot. I think I got this significantly less, probably for good reason, than it normally goes for online. And picked up a decent deal there, but yeah, the box is in not the greatest condition. And these are the games you play when you go for Vinted, unfortunately. You're always running the risk, and yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to stick with the Retro Ghetto for a minute. So if you're not already a subscriber, I'm not going to overplug his channel here. He's a great guy, really good channel. But what he does have, as well as his channel, if you join his Patreon, is a fantastic community called the Ghetto Gang. Obviously all managed through Discord. And there's some very generous collectors in there who not only sell at reasonable prices to other collectors, but also sometimes just give away excess kind of lower value stuff. And I picked up a couple of things when I joined it recently. I have given away some stuff myself, just for transparency. But yeah, I had decided to dip in and put a request in for a couple of things that people had offered. I've been on a bit of a Tomb Raider hit in the last couple of months. So the first thing that caught my eye was one of the gang was giving away the Tomb Raider Legend game on PS2. Now I think I played this on 360, and I think I own it on 360. But I just thought it'd be really nice to have it on the PlayStation, sort of build out that Lara Croft set. It's in excellent condition, as it probably was always going to be from a collector. So I added that, and at the same time I also asked that user for something I've never experienced before, which was this, the Ministry of Sound Edition Modern Groove. Now it looks like some sort of music game, obviously. What a stupid statement. It says mixed dynamic visuals with exclusive Ministry of Sound sets, mixed dynamically generated visuals with 5 hours, 60 tracks of the latest dance anthems. Now, I've got to be honest, I like me a bit of Ministry of Sound, I like a bit of dance music. I thought this could be really interesting and a bit of fun. Never ever played it before, and I've yet to try it. And in fact, I've never seen proper footage beyond screenshots. I will have again by the time I've edited this video, but I'm looking forward to giving that one a go. So that was a really nice pickup. And then again, another generous seller had got a few games for free that I decided again to pick up and add to the collection. They're very, very grateful for them for that. First one's a PS3 game, and it's Need for Speed Undercover. I just love the old Need for Speed games. Back as far as I think the 360, PS2 was for me, they were at their peak. So obviously PS3 version, we're talking Xbox 360 era. Expect this to be a good game. I'm pretty sure I played Undercover, although I've got to be honest, in this era, most of the Need for Speed games blur into one for me. But in a good way, because I enjoyed them. So Need for Speed Undercover. Then a few PS2 games. Oh, this is all from the same person, by the way, so thank you again if you're watching and you know who you are. So there were 2 Lord of the Rings games for the PS2 that we picked up. I'll do them in movie order. So we had Lord of the Rings The Two Towers. Now, you can see where the problem is here. I've now got a gap. I'm going to need the Fellowship. But anyway, Lord of the Rings The Two Towers and Lord of the Rings Return of the King. Now, I think I owned these or rented them back in the day. They're not great games by any stretch, but they're really fun if you like the movies, and they're a nice, easy hack and slash kind of movie tie-in. I might pop them on at some point and maybe stick the movie on in the background and have a little Lord of the Rings nostalgia off. Same seller, or same gifter in this example, also gave away these 2 titles. Again, didn't own these back in the day. I've got newer versions of kind of the series now, but first of all was Hitman Contracts. So picked that one up on the PS2. Not in the best condition. There's a bit of staining on the back of the cover, but it's nothing horrendous. And again, it was free, so you really can't complain, can you? So great community and a great pickup. And then to go with that, Hitman 2, Silent Assassin. Again, similar kind of condition issues here with just a bit of damage to the cover. I don't mind though. I just wanted to pick them up to give them a little try at some point, to have an option to play some of those classic Hitman games. It's not a series I've ever really played. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever played it properly. I have picked up on PS5 the latest kind of Hitman remasters, so I'm probably going to start there rather than going back to PS2. But really fun pickups all the same. Then, would a pickups video be complete without a trip to CEX? And I went a couple of times in the last month or so and picked up some titles at each stop. So I'll do them per stop. And the biggest hitter I will leave till last. In fact, I'm going to slightly flip the order of these. Oop. So let's start with the cheapest one. This was a grand total of £1. But it's in excellent condition. And I thought, I can't leave a good PS2 case and game for £1. And that is Extreme G Racing. Probably very, very average. Don't think I ever played it back in the day. Looks like a Wipeout wannabe. But for £1, like I said, the PS2 cases alone were worth that. So if I can rebox another better game at some point in the future, I'll do it. But it might be good. And like I said, in the condition that it's in, I thought, why not? Can't hurt. Took it off the shelf. £1. I also bought at the time, because my daughter now has an obsession with this show via YouTube Short, which is where she's learnt about it. She thinks it's some sort of brand new thing. That's The Simpsons, and in this case, Road Rage. Don't think I played this one back in the day. I think at the time I was probably too into what it was trying to be, which was that kind of GTA. It looks a bit like GTA meets Crazy Taxi. I've never played it. I can't really tell what kind of game we're talking about here. Cruise and Crash. 6 huge worlds. 30 hilarious characters. Don't know. Is it a racing game? Is it a Crazy Taxi? Is it GTA? You tell me in the comments. I have no idea. But I picked it up because my daughter latched onto the fact that it was The Simpsons, which is this novel new thing she's now learnt about. I don't let her watch it, just for clarity. She's only 9. But she's finding it very interesting. And then a game she absolutely won't be playing for a good few years yet was the final pickup in that set, and that is Manhunt on the PS2. I loved this back in the day. I know that it was very controversial, quite dark. You know, if you didn't play it back then, it's an 18. It's a brutal kind of, well, it's all about murder, basically. And there is a sequel, which I think is a little more expensive to pick up. I will try and get that at some point and add to the collection. But yeah, Manhunt on the PS2. Again, just for nostalgia, I probably won't pop it in anytime soon, but I do remember buying and playing this back in the day and thinking it was quite interesting. To be honest, I bought most things that Rocksteady did because they were the cool kids back on the PS2. I mean, they still are, aren't they, with GTA and that series, but they were putting out all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. There's another one, actually. What was the other title on the PS2? I haven't picked it up again yet, but it was basically some sort of mass shooting game in a shopping mall. Very controversial by today's standards, but you were shooting gang members en masse. Emergence? Independence? Nope. Can't think of it. Anyway, we'll move on. So then I went to a different CEX. I was in Nottingham for work, and I went into a local CEX in the city centre and picked up 2 games. One was mainly because of a nice little cardboard sleeve, and that is Xbox 360's Doom 3. You can see that nice shimmer on the case there. This is the BFG edition, in excellent condition, a nice little cardboard sleeve, and I just thought that was worth picking up. I don't have Doom 3 in the collection at the moment. I've got a few of the Doom titles. Again, not one I played back in the day, but that's kind of the point of the way I'm collecting at the moment. I've got a lot of the games I used to love. Now I'm adding things that other people said were great, or that just interest me. And then I own all 3 of these games, but not in a box like this, and the final pickup from CEX was Prince of Persia Trilogy. Now, I'll hold it like that for a second, and then I'm going to turn it, because this is a bit unusual. It's a fat box. It's a chunky monkey. Inside, everything's there apart from, so all 3 discs you can see there. The only manual missing, I think, was the Warrior Within, which I don't really care about because I've got the Warrior Within. I've got all 3 of these on PS2 loose, well, not loose, separately. But I didn't even know this existed. I'd never seen this before, and it wasn't mega expensive, and it was even cheaper when I got to the till because the sticker price had been reduced. And I thought, for 3 excellent games on the PS2, the first one specifically, I absolutely love The Sands of Time. I've got some very strong memories attached to that from, I've told you on the channel before, I went to PlayStation Experience many, many years ago before it was officially out, and it was just being demoed. And I played it at this exhibition, and it was amazing. Probably partly due to the exhibition also being great fun and a great memory. I missed out on getting my Metal Gear Solid stuff signed by Kojima. He was there, and I had no idea how big the queue was going to be, and I missed him. Gutted. But I played this demo and I bought the full fat game when it came out, and I played it all the way cover to cover, which is unlike me. Absolutely loved Prince of Persia: The Sands of Times. I was less bothered by broody Prince when they started to change it, but still a cool trilogy to own and a great little box as well. Just think a little bit different for the collection. And we're nearing the end, so I've kind of rattled through these, and apologies, it's probably a fast pickup, although there's a lot here. And what I've got now basically is bulk of PS5 and a PS4 game and a couple of Switch games, so we'll go for Switch first. This one I was alerted to being on offer on Amazon because the Ghetto Gang Discord, great place if you're not a member, had highlighted it, and that is Catherine, full body on the Switch. It was reduced, I think on a bit of a special, and I thought it was a great game. I think I do have it somewhere digitally, probably in my PS4 library, or PS3, I can't remember where this game first came out, what generation. But I don't own it physically, and I thought the Switch was a great little platform to have this on, so I bought Catherine full body for the Switch. And then a recommendation from Callum at the Retro Ghetto himself was a Switch title again, but a very retro one. This is called Abathur, and I know he's been playing that one a lot on the channel, and was very, very popular with him and others. It's a very sort of pixel art 2D kind of style game, old school looking, but apparently very, very, very interesting. You traverse the entire continent of Atlantis and fight against armies of monsters. Literally all it says on the back. But it looks great. It looks a little bit kind of Hero Questy meets, I don't know, Golden Axe. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but a great little game, and I'm really pleased to add that one to the Switch. Feels like a perfect platform for that as well. Now, if you were watching my live streams recently, you'll know that I played one of these games on stream, and that was 2 Point Museum, the Explorer Edition. I saw this played on the PlayStation Access live stream, thought it looked really fun, and I love these kind of point and click games. I would normally gravitate towards PC for something like this, and I'll be honest, even when I was playing this on PS5, the navigation's a little bit fiddlier with analog sticks, I'm not going to lie, and hopping between menus, but I quickly got my head around it. And it's a great game, great fun. I've only played 2 or 3 hours so far. It's only what I've played on stream. I am planning to stream again soon and play some more of this. But yeah, 2 Point Museum, a really great return to form for the team behind this, 2 Point Studios. We'll talk about them a little bit more in a second, but let's just add that to the pile. So their previous game, unfortunately, didn't do quite as well in terms of its overall reviews, and that was 2 Point Campus. But again, I got this ridiculously cheap on Amazon, and it's a collector's edition. It's the enrollment edition, so it comes in this nice little cardboard box, and inside you get the university prospectus, a campus map, bonus DLC packs, and of course the full game. So I picked that up because it was cheap, and I was dipping into the 2 Point games again. So of course that means I also had to add a physical copy, because I've never owned this physically. 2 Point Hospital, which I know was very well received. This one specifically, again, very, very cheap on Amazon. The Jumbo Edition, which includes 4 expansions and 2 additional pieces of awesome content. So you get the Hospital Bigfoot add-on, Pebbly Island, Close Encounters, which obviously looks like some sort of alien-related theme, and then 2 Point Hospital Off the Grid. So yeah, more hospitals, more cures, more fun, it says. And yeah, this is where 2 Point Studios started their journey. And I remember seeing this when it first came out back in the day and having flashbacks to Theme Hospital, which is another title I absolutely loved as a kid. Theme Park and Theme Hospital were great. So I wonder if we'll ever see 2 Point Studios move into the theme park side of things, or is that now just dominated by the likes of Roller Coaster Tycoon, etc. 2 more PS5 games then to round out the pickups for this month. And this one I, again, saw people recommending on a few of my YouTubers that I watch recently, and that is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which I'll just hold the case up for you. But what really grabbed me here, and the reason why it caught my attention when it was being described, is that it has got very, very strong influence from Jet Set Radio, which was a game I played back on the Dreamcast. Dreamcast? Yeah, Dreamcast. And then I think it was remastered on the 360. So picked this up for the PS5, thought this looked really cool. I'm on a big PS5 push. I've mentioned this now for several months. I'm buying a lot of physical games for my PS5. Really enjoying playing that console, and yeah, back in a big way. So added this one to the list. So that's Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. looks cool, as you'll have seen from the footage I've put on screen. And then the last one, paid full whack for this, unfortunately, and I'm not entirely sure I'm happy with my decision. I'll talk about that in a second, and that is Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, don't get me wrong, that is not a knock on the quality of this game. I'm sure the reviews, as I've said, it's excellent. It's been really well thought of. Loads of people have jumped in and thoroughly enjoyed it. I played it briefly. I bought it to play with a friend. He had already jumped in and played several hours before I got as far as playing the game, and I think on the night I picked it up, I was knackered. It'd been a long day at work. I just couldn't get into it. Couldn't be bothered with the depth of the crafting systems and the healing and the items and whatever else. So I'm very much at the early part of the game. The combat seems fun. The game's reasonably pretty, but doesn't feel like a massive leap forward from the last Monster Hunter I played, which was Monster Hunter Worlds, which I played a lot of actually. But yeah, so Monster Hunter Wilds is the last one I've added to the collection this month. I have also digitally bought WWE 2K25. I don't tend to buy the newer ones of those physically, mainly because I like to play them, I kind of dip in and out of them, and having them on disc, a bit like a FIFA, means having to constantly mess around changing discs. So I have been buying that series for the last 2 or 3 years, digital only, so I bought that recently as well. And that is my mountain of pickups for this month. I told you there were quite a lot in there. We've got through them fairly quickly. Hopefully that hasn't felt too rushed. I didn't want this to be an hour-long video either. So yeah, some great additions to the collection. The next few months again are going to be a bit of a mixture of kind of content from game collecting, retro quests where I can squeeze them in. They take a little bit longer to produce, and of course the workshop, which you'll have seen in last week's video, is now up and running. So lots of work to do in there over the next few months, and I'll keep those updates coming as well. So thank you again for watching. If you've managed to get this far, then that's great. Really, really appreciate your support. If you aren't already a subscriber, please like, subscribe, do all the good stuff down below. Get involved in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this month's pickups. Anything in there that really stood out to you? Have you ever heard of Cyvaria? Never have. Let me know if that's any good. What was your standout? What was your favourite pick from that set? I'd love to know what you think. There's a real variety there, from kind of old to very, very new. So let me know what your thoughts were. Otherwise, I will leave you there for this video. I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.